Hi class, it's Mr. Trez, and this video is going to be about characteristics of right triangles. Our learning objective: the student will be able to recognize and classify the different characteristics of a right triangle. The objective will be met if the student receives a 100% on their Google Slides assignment. Our essential question: how can you identify the hypotenuse and the legs of a right triangle? So our next unit of study is going to be the Pythagorean theorem, which is one of the most important and famous theories in all of math. But to have a good understanding of the Pythagorean theorem, we must first have a good understanding of right triangles. So what is a right triangle? Well, a right triangle is a triangle with one right angle. A right angle is an angle whose measure is exactly 90 degrees. It is formed at the intersection of two perpendicular straight lines. A corner of a right angle typically shows a little square inside of it. Next we have is our hypotenuse. The hypotenuse of a right triangle is the side opposite the right angle. It's also the longest side of the right triangle. And then finally we have the legs, the two sides of a right triangle that form the right angle, the two shortest sides of a right triangle. Okay, so let's take a look at example A. So here we have a right triangle. And the reason why I know it's a right triangle is because I have one right angle. I have two perpendicular lines that intersect to form a 90-degree right angle. And I'm going to put a little square right there, which indicates a 90-degree angle. So now what we want to do is we just want to identify the hypotenuse and the two legs. So the hypotenuse is the side that is directly opposite of the right angle. It's also the longest side. So if my right angle is right here, okay, the side opposite of it is going to be my hypotenuse, which in this case is going to be 5 feet. So I'm going to put 5 feet with my hypotenuse. Finally, we have the two legs. And the legs are the two sides that make up that right angle. So in this case, it's 3 feet and 4 feet. So one leg is 3 feet, and the other leg is going to be 4 feet. Okay, and the legs are always the two shorter sides of the right triangle. Okay, next we have example B. So again, we have an example of a right triangle. How do I know it? I have two perpendicular lines. They intersect to form a perfect 90-degree right angle. And I'm going to indicate that with a little square right here. So the first thing that I want to find is the hypotenuse. Again, the hypotenuse is the side that is directly opposite the right angle. So if my right angle is here, my hypotenuse will be opposite that. Well, in this case, it's just a variable, x, which is fine. So for the hypotenuse, I'm going to represent that as x. Next we have are the two legs. Again, the legs are the two sides that make up the 90-degree right angle. They're the two shorter sides. So in this case, we have a leg is 16 inches, and the other leg is going to be 18 inches. Okay, so just as a quick review, our hypotenuse is the longest side of our right triangle. It is the side that is opposite of the right angle. And then finally we have the two legs, which are the two sides of a right triangle that form the right angle. Okay, and the last thing is just be careful with the orientation. Okay, so if we were to kind of twist this right triangle around, maybe even flip it upside down, okay, the characteristics still remain the same. Okay, as we could see, every time I flipped it or moved it, okay, the sides remain the same. Okay, the hypotenuse is still the hypotenuse, and the legs are still the two legs. If you have any questions, please send me an email, and thank you for watching this video.